Hello friends and welcome to Hitbullseye. This is your another dose of current affairs for the last week of September 2022. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do so that you can receive all these latest videos and updates as and when we post them. इस वीडियो में भी हम सबसे इम्पॉर्टेंट पिछले हफ्ते की जो न्यूज़ हैं वो कवर करने वाले हैं. So please do not miss this video and watch this video till the end so that you can learn all the important news that we have to tell you. Starting from the first one, which is G4 countries reiterate the UNSC reform. तो G4 countries हम देखेंगे कि G4 countries कौन सी हैं और UN Security Council reform क्या है. We'll have a brief look at that. Then REC, that is Rural Electrification Corporation, has become the 12th company to get Maharatna status. What is a Maharatna? What is a Navaratna? What is a Mini Ratna? These are the categorizations of companies. We will try to find out what it is. Then a Breakthrough Prize 2023 has been given out. Just like the Nobel Prizes and other major prizes, Breakthrough Prize is an award that is given to, for a very specific for science. We will see कि award किसे दिया गया है. Then Leh in the Union Territory of Ladakh has achieved 100% digitization of its banking operations, and it is quite an achievement considering that it is such a remote area and considering that the services are not really easy to provide in that place. 100% digitization is a big achievement for Leh. Then India's first avalanche monitoring radar has been established. Avalanche monitoring radar. Avalanche is a major problem as far as these high snowy peaks are concerned, and there are so many Indian soldiers serving on those peaks, and many of them get martyred in the line of duty due to avalanches. So if we have such a mountain, such an avalanche monitoring radar, it can be really helpful in saving those precious lives. The Chandigarh airport has been renamed finally after years of controversy. Finally, we have a new name for the Chandigarh International Airport. Women cricketer Jhulan Goswami has announced her retirement from all forms of cricket, and it seems like this is the retirement season of all the biggies in the sports world, whether it is Serena Williams, whether it is Roger Federer, whether it is it was your Sebastian Vettel in Formula 1, and here you have Jhulan Goswami. So it's like, an entire age of sports is coming to an end, it seems. Then Asha Parekh, talking about age in Indian cinema, if we say, Asha Parekh is a very senior actor, and she has been chosen for India's highest award in the film industry. We will see which that award is that she has been conferred with. Next is Eliud Kipchoge. Eliud Kipchoge, if you are a sports enthusiast, specifically an athletics enthusiast, you would know that he is the greatest name in the world in terms of marathon. So he is the world's greatest marathon runner, and he has created a world record. We will see what that world record is. Lieutenant General Anil Chauhan, this is one of the most important news that we are going to do in this video. Lieutenant General Anil Chauhan has been appointed as the new Chief of Defense Staff. So almost 9 months after the first CDS, General Bipin Rawat, died in an unfortunate chopper crash, we finally have General Anil Chauhan to fill in his boots. Venkataramani is the new Attorney General of India. So K.K. Venugopal's term has ended, and Mr. R. Venkataramani is the new AG. Although there were speculations that Mr. Mukul Rohatgi, may be reappointed as the AG because he served from 2014 to 17 as well. However, putting to rest all speculations, he has declined to be on the position for personal reasons, as he said. There is no political motive that has been drawn out of it because he's an advocate, and of course it's a personal choice whether one wants to become an AG or not. So he has politely declined, and finally Mr. Venkataramani has been appointed as the next law officer of the Government of India. The Bundelkhand region of Uttar Pradesh has got its first tiger reserve. So we will see what its name is. Then the Global Innovation Index 2022 has been released, and India has improved upon its ranking in this index. The Vande Bharat Express, the poster child of railway modernization in India, Vande Bharat trains. The government had in this year's budget, vowed to run 75 such trains in the next 1 year. So we already have the first one, that is the Gandhinagar-Mumbai Vande Bharat Express, which has been inaugurated by the Prime Minister. And finally, Kazakhstan, the Central Asian Republic, has changed its capital's name yet again. So पहले इनका अच्छा खासा कैपिटल का नाम होता था, then they changed it, and now they are going back after 3 years. So we will see why that is happening. Right, so starting with the first news, G4 countries reiterate UNSC reform. Basically, United Nations Security Council is the most powerful organ of the United Nations, which was formed in 1945 to stop a third world war. The major purpose why the UN came into being was that there should be no third world war. And, it seems we have been successful at least up to that end. और उतना ही शायद काफ़ी है. As Shashi Tharoor put it, that the UN was not created to take the humanity to heaven. It was created to save the humanity from hell. And I think we have been saved from the hell of Third World War at least. Although there have been numerous battles, throughout the world in the last 75 years, at least there has not been a Third World War. तो उस dimension से तो UN उतना हद तक successful माना जा सकता है. However, the structure of the United Nations Security Council is not something that everybody likes. UN Security Council is the decision-making body of UN. It is like the cabinet headed by Prime Minister is the decision-making body of the center government. उसी तरह से UNSC is the decision-making body of the UN. But there is discrimination at the top with 5 permanent members and 10 non-permanent members. ये जो 10 non-permanent member हैं, they are not a problem. They are elected for a 2-year term. They serve their term and they give way, or they make way for the next set of countries. But these 5 permanent members, as the name suggests, they are permanent in nature. These 5 countries are the US, Russia, France, China, and Britain. ये 5 countries permanent members हैं who enjoy veto power in the UN Security Council. That means no decision can move ahead that even one of them does not agree with. They have a negative vote. They can negate the opinion of the entire Security Council just because they do not agree with it. जैसे रशिया ने जब यूक्रेन पे इन्वेजन किया था तो यूएन सिक्योरिटी काउंसिल में रशिया के खिलाफ एक रेजोल्यूशन मूव किया गया था बाय द यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स एंड अल्बानिया. But of course, since Russia is a permanent member, it vetoed that resolution. So this is like a discrimination embedded into the system, and this is what the entire world opposes. Or either the world opposes veto or they want this power to be expanded. They do not want this power to be the privilege of a few. और उस point of view से G4 create की गई. G4 is a body that consists of these 4 countries, that is Japan, Brazil, Germany, and of course India. Brazil, Japan, Germany, and India, that you can call Big J. Brazil, India, Germany, and Japan. The purpose of G4 is that whenever the UN Security Council expands, these 4 countries should be given priority for the permanent membership. And of course, India has one of the strongest claims to the permanent membership because it is the 2nd most populous country in the world. It has the 4th largest military in the world. It has the 5th largest economy in the world, and it is one of the most peaceful countries in its nuclear use also, and in terms of contribution to the UN peacekeeping missions also. So one of the strongest contenders for the next seat of UN Security Council is India. Population, although it's an evil, बाकी काफ़ी सारी चीज़ों में तो population का हमें नुकसान ही उठाना पड़ता है, but at least for getting a UN Security Council permanent seat, population is our biggest argument. Because if the world needs to be democratic, 1/6 of the global population lives in India. So if 1/6 of representation has to be given, India has to be the first country to become the permanent member. So that is what G4 is for. That is why they have reiterated UNSC reforms. That when UNSC was formed in 1945, that era is long gone. The UNSC of today does not represent the aspirations and the reality of the world of today. आज दुनिया बदल गई है last 75 years में. तो आज की reality को UN Security Council नहीं दिखाता है. Maybe उस time की reality को दिखाता था, because those were all the countries who won the Second World War, who were calling the shots in economy, in polity and everything. But now the scenario has changed. Now the new centers of power have come up. The global balance of power has shifted towards Asia and towards many other poles, and the world cannot simply keep their eyes shut towards the expansion of other countries. That is what it is. So they have met and they have reiterated that UNSC be reformed, it be expanded, and these countries be given a chance in the UN Security Council. And the meeting was extended by External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar from India, Brazilian Foreign Minister Ernesto Araújo, Japan's Foreign Minister Motegi Toshimitsu, and Minister of State at German Foreign Office Niels Annan. All the 4 countries were represented. Next, REC has become a Maharatna. So REC is the Rural Electrification Corporation. It's a public sector undertaking, central public sector undertaking. That means it is owned by the government of India, and it has got a Maharatna status. So basically, this status is given by the government of India to companies who are showing, exceptional performance in terms of net profits, in terms of turnover, etc. And if a company gets this status, what does it entail? The board of Maharatna company can make equity investments to undertake financial joint ventures and wholly owned subsidiaries, and undertake mergers and acquisitions in India and abroad, subject to a ceiling of 15% net worth of the CPSC concerned, limited to 5,000 crores. That means the board of directors of that particular public sector undertaking gets a lot of autonomy in terms of financial decisions, in terms of mergers and acquisitions, which they otherwise do not enjoy. Right? The board can also structure and implement schemes relating to personnel and human resource management. अगर कोई CPSC इतना ही अच्छा perform कर रही है, इसका मतलब है कि उसे थोड़ी और autonomy दी जा सकती है. And that is what the idea is all about. लेकिन Maharatna status लेना इतना आसान नहीं है. To get a Maharatna status, a company should be, which has recorded more than 5,000 crores of net profit for 3 consecutive years. 3 साल से ज़्यादा 5,000 करोड़ का net profit हर साल जिसका हो. That is the first criteria. An average annual turnover of 25,000 crores for 3 years and an average net worth of 15,000 crore for 3 years. ये तीनों criteria या तीनों में से कोई भी एक जब fulfill होता है, तब उस company को Maharatna status दिया जाता है. It should also have a footing in the international market, and it should be listed on an Indian stock exchange. ये सारे क्राइटेरिया जब फुलफिल होते हैं तब किसी कंपनी को महारत्ना स्टेटस दिया जाता है. एंड REC has become the 12th महारत्ना ऑफ इंडिया. इससे पहले अगर कुछ महारत्ना की बात करें, ONGC ऑयल एंड नेचुरल गैस कॉरपोरेशन, इंडियन ऑयल कॉरपोरेशन लिमिटेड, भारत पेट्रोलियम कॉरपोरेशन लिमिटेड, नेशनल थर्मल पावर कॉरपोरेशन, ये सारे इंडिया के कुछ महारत्ना कंपनीज हैं. Right, which also shows that India is expanding as an economy because it is Rural Electrification Corporation. So that means rural electrification is doing well, it is expanding. That's what it means. Breakthrough Prize 2023. Now breakthrough means, the dictionary meaning of breakthrough is when something happens for the first time, such a big discovery or invention in a particular field. So breakthrough prize is given in the fields of, for discoveries in the fields of fundamental physics, life sciences and mathematics, along with other such scientific awards. And this is also known as the Oscars of science. So this has been given to Spielman, Daniel A. Spielman. Right? Daniel A. Spielman has been honored with this prize in the field of mathematics for his discoveries in theoretical computer science and mathematics. So Daniel A. Spielman, this young man here with such a infectious smile, he has been given the Breakthrough Prize 2023 in mathematics. Next, Leh achieves 100% digitization in banking operations. So Leh, it is very unlikely. हमें लगता है जब भी हम Leh के बारे में सुनते हैं that it's sort of a backward area. और Leh या Pangong Tso Lake के बारे में जब भी हम सुनते हैं तो हमें 3 Idiots movie याद आ जाती है. That the famed last scene which is shot around that. तो हमें लगता है कि Leh is not a very developed area. It's a cold desert. Many services are not available there. But that is not exactly the case. The government has been taking extra steps and going the extra mile to provide all necessary infrastructure there. And one of the major reasons for doing that is that it has border with China. And we have recently been in a scuffle with China for over 2 years in the eastern Ladakh. So it is government's, renewed commitment that the infrastructure creation in terms of digital infrastructure, physical infrastructure, transportation, energy, telecommunication should be really, really robust in Ladakh. Also now that it is a union territory, so there is no politics or there is nothing of that sort. Directly the union government can administer Leh. So adding another feather to its cap, the entire district of Leh has completed the digitization of all the operating banks within a year only. एक साल के अंदर अंदर ये अचीव कर लिया गया है. So digital banking is the electronic banking service provided by a bank for all its services online. 2019 में RBI ने ये proposal रखा था. In 2019 the RBI had put this proposal to make at least one district of every state in the country 100% digital banking operationalized. तो यूटी वहाँ पे तो है ही, कुछ 2-3 डिस्ट्रिक्ट्स ही हैं, तो उसमें से ले को ये स्टेटस दे दिया गया है, which is quite a good achievement. India is already doing really well in digital payments and banking and all, so it makes sense. Next is your avalanche monitoring radar, India's first avalanche monitoring radar. So this, as you can see, is avalanche. So avalanche is basically when a huge pile of snow comes down the slope. It's like a landslide, but instead it is of a snow. So snow slide, what you can say, is avalanche. And these can be really, really dangerous for destruction of property and human life. There are many Indian soldiers who are serving on those high peaks, mostly in Siachen and other high peaks of Himalayas, who are really prone to these avalanches. And we lose some of those precious lives every year due to avalanches because we are not able to map them, we are not able to have any scientific data on them. But now for the first time, the Indian Army and the Defense Geoinformatics and Research Establishment, DGRE, have jointly installed avalanche monitoring radar, the first in North Sikkim. So in Sikkim it has been installed. It will detect avalanches and it will detect landslides also. Not only avalanches, it will detect landslides also. It was operationalized by DRDO, Defense Research and Development Organization, and the nodal agency or the operating agency is DGRE, that is Defense Geoinformatics and Research Establishment. तो इससे बहुत help होगी avalanches को पहले से map करने में, उनको predict करने में, and many precious lives would be saved. Next, so the Chandigarh airport has been renamed. As you can see here, it is the Shaheed Bhagat Singh International Airport, Chandigarh now. Basically, there was a tussle between Punjab and Haryana about naming of this airport, but this tussle was not about the name of Shaheed Bhagat Singh. It was about the name of the city that was to be written along with it. Because the half of the airport, presumably the Air Force area, because it has an Air Force base as well. So the Air Force base along with the runway, that falls in the territory of the UT of Chandigarh, whereas the terminal of the airport falls in the territory of Punjab. So the dispute was whether it should be named should it be named after Mohali, which is a city in Punjab, or should it be named Chandigarh. That was the tussle. Finally, it has been settled. Now it is it has been agreed by both the chief ministers of Punjab and Haryana that it will be named after Chandigarh only. So now it is Shahid Bhagat Singh International Airport, Chandigarh. Right? And this name has been, it was formally given by Prime Minister Modi. Moving ahead, Jhulan Goswami. So she is Jhulan Goswami, one of the most accomplished women cricketers of India. But unfortunately, since we do not give much importance to women's cricket in India, so I don't really think that many of us have heard this name. Anyway, she has announced her retirement from all forms of cricket this week. Right? She is one of the all-time quickest female bowlers. She participated in 204 one-day internationals, claimed 255 wickets, and holds the record for most wickets taken in women's ODI cricket. She received M.A. Chidambaram Trophy for Best Women's Cricketer in 2011 and ICC Women's Player of the Year Award in 2007. So she has quite a lot of accomplishments in her kitty. In 2016, she was climbed the top to the ICC Women's ODI bowling ranking. So she has a lot of achievements to her credit. And finally, now she has said goodbye to the women's cricket. Next, Asha Parekh. So perhaps we do not know her, but the next our parents' generation and our grandparents' generation would certainly recognize her. She is one of the most recognizable faces in Indian cinema. Asha Parekh. She has acted in movies for over 50 years, starting 1952 when she was just 10 years old. Her first movie was Ma. She was a child artist in that, just 10 years old, and she has also received Padma Shri Award, and now for her lifetime contribution to Indian cinema, she has been honored with the highest award of Indian cinema, that is Dada Saheb Phalke Award. She is the 52nd awardee of this particular award. She has worked in more than 95 films, and she has also been the chairperson of CBFC, Central Board of Film Certification, जिसे हम censor board भी कह देते हैं. She has been the chairperson of that as well. She was given Padma Shri in 1992, and now she has been given the highest award of Indian cinema. Some other recipients of this award include Rajinikanth, the South Indian god Rajinikanth. Last year he was conferred this award, and the year before it was Amitabh Bachchan, the mega star Amitabh Bachchan. He was given this award. So it is the final highest award that can be given to any person associated with Indian cinema. Next is Eliud Kipchoge. Eliud Kipchoge is an army unto himself. So it's like he is one of the greatest sports person the world has ever seen. He is a 4-time Olympic gold medal winner in marathon. So if there is one name in the world that you can take for marathon, it is this man. So Eliud Kipchoge, he has shattered his own world record. He created a world record, and he has broken his own world record with a time of 2 hours 1 minute and 9 seconds, and the length of a particular marathon is 42.2 kilometers. Massive. It's a huge distance. Covering it in just 2 hours is something that has never been achieved. So he has won the Berlin Marathon. That is not very important. Important is that he has created a world record of 2 hours 1 minute and 9 seconds. Interestingly, he has run a marathon even in lesser time as well. उन्होंने 2 घंटे से कम में भी marathon दौड़ी हुई है, but that was not recognized. He has already run a marathon in 1 hour 59 minutes and a few seconds. That way he has become the first person in the world history to run a marathon in less than 2 hours. But that was not recognized as an award because it did not fulfill certain criteria. Nonetheless, he has done it in 2 hours 1 minute, and he has the official men's world record in this. Right, so his personal best was 2 hours 1 minute 39 seconds. So he has bettered his own record by 30 seconds. And the women's race was won by Tigist Asefa in 2 hours 15 minutes 37 seconds. In 2019, so this is the race I'm talking to you about. In 2019, he ran a marathon in Vienna in under 2 hours. A milestone long thought impossible, but it was not recognized in history books. Otherwise, it would have been a very, very difficult record to break, which in fact this also is. So here is a man who is like, a figure of grit and determination, because it is really difficult to run a marathon, and that too in such a short span of time. So this gentleman is Mr. Anil Chauhan, Lieutenant General Anil Chauhan. He was retired, but now he has been appointed as the new Chief of Defense Staff. So CDS was a position that was created in 2019, and General Bipin Rawat was the first person to honor this particular designation. And now, about 8 or 9 months after his death, Lieutenant General Anil Chauhan is going to take over as the next CDS. Right? He is an NDA alumnus, that is the National Defense Academy alumnus, and he became the General Commanding in Chief of Eastern Command in September 2019 and retired on 31st of May 2021. He has held several appointments and has extensive experience in counterinsurgency operations in J&K and the Northeast, which is seen as a prerequisite for handling such a level of appointment. And when he becomes the CDS, his task will be the modernization of the armed forces, the establishment of theater commands. The theater commands are like a combination of Army, Navy and Air Force. So his task will be that, and to take forward the reforms that were started by General Bipin Rawat. That is going to be, those are large shoes to fill, but hopefully he does it well. Mr. R. Venkataramani, so he's a senior advocate in the Supreme Court, and he is the new Attorney General of India. He was appointed by the President of India, Ms. Draupadi Murmu, and he is going to represent the Government of India for the most important matters in the Supreme Court, the High Courts and other courts as and when required. So this is a very important position. It's a constitutional position mentioned under Part 5 of the Constitution and is directly appointed by the President, which shows the level of importance given to this designation. And Mr. K.K. Venugopal, recently retired, and that is why he has been appointed in his place. Generally, an AG is appointed for 2 to 3 years, but there is no such fixed term, there is no such fixed salary, and this AG can be changed anytime by the Government of India. Bundelkhand gets first tiger reserve. So quite a fascinating picture there of the tiger. Don't know whether it's a yawning or what. Anyway, so Bundelkhand region of Uttar Pradesh is getting its first tiger reserve. It will span across 52,000 hectares of land, which is a huge, chunk of land. It's like 53,000 hectares of land, and the core area is already notified as wildlife sanctuary. It is Ranipur Wildlife Sanctuary in the Chitrakoot district of Uttar Pradesh. So the Uttar Pradesh cabinet has given this permission. So the Ranipur Tiger Reserve is its name, and it is covered by northern tropical dry deciduous forests. It is already home to tiger, leopard, bear, spotted deer, sambar, chinkara, reptiles and other mammals. So this is really important because you need an entire food chain to sustain when you're declaring a particular reserve as a tiger reserve. It does not mean that there will only be tigers in that. This is a wrong perception that if a place is declared, if a protected area is declared as a tiger reserve, it means that only tigers will be there. Of course not. It simply means that it is under the NTCA now, the National Tiger Conservation Authority, and that tigers are the focus species to be protected there. Of course, they need an entire natural food ecosystem and food chain to sustain. Hence, you need all types of animals there. It's not that only tigers are there. This is the wrong perception that is there. Then India is really doing well when it comes to Global Innovation Index. So Global Innovation Index 2022 has been released, and India's rank a few years back was 81 in this, but now it is 40. So suddenly, so it was a low rank, but we are going above. So last year this rank was 46, now it is 40. So every year we are improving by 5-6 ranks, and in the last 6 years we have climbed 40 ranks, and now our rank is 40 in the Global Innovation Index. So this index is topped by Switzerland for the 12th consecutive year. Switzerland, it seems, is really a hub of innovation in the world. So it has topped it as the most innovative economy for the 12th straight year. And India has got 40th position. India's innovation performance is above average for upper middle income group in almost every innovation pillar, with the exception of infrastructure where it scores below average. यानी कि इंडिया में अगर इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर को अच्छी इंपॉर्टेंस दे दी जाए और अच्छा फोकस दे दिया जाए, then India's rank will improve even further. Infrastructure includes physical infrastructure, transportation, energy, communication, social infrastructure, digital infrastructure. अगर इन सब पे अच्छा इन्वेस्ट किया जाएगा, then of course India's rank will improve even further. Then Gandhinagar-Mumbai Vande Bharat Express has been launched. As you can see, Prime Minister Modi flagging off this train, and this is the third train, the third route that has been chosen for this Vande Bharat Express. The first route was the Delhi-Varanasi route. Of course, Prime Minister Modi's own constituency, Varanasi to Delhi. Second was Delhi to Katra Mata Vaishno Devi. So that is the second route, and the third is this Gandhinagar to Mumbai. And the government's plan is to run 75 Vande Bharat trains by the end of August 2023. So as I told you, that since India has completed 75 years of independence in August 2022, so within the next 1 year, before it completes 76 years, we need to run 75 such trains. And this is really the poster boy of Indian Railways modernization. This is a really good train. This is a semi-high-speed train that runs from like 160 to 180 kilometers per hour. And if we are able to, expand this train and run it on various routes, then it can really change the face of Indian Railways. So this is that attempt. And the best of all, it is made in India. It is made in India. Next and last news is Kazakhstan changes its capital's name. Kazakhstan, which is a Central Asian country, a Central Asian republic, has changed its name, its capital's name from Nur Sultan. The name of the country, the capital was Nur Sultan, and it has been changed to Astana. Astana. Earlier also the name was Astana, but it had a leader called Nur Sultan Nazarbayev. Right? Nur Sultan Nazarbayev was the president of Kazakhstan. So he changed the name of the capital from Astana to Nur Sultan. But now this new president, Kassym-Jomart Tokayev, as you can see this gentleman over here, he has reverted back the name from Nur Sultan back to Astana. Right? So maybe some political motive or something like that. So he himself had renamed it in honor of his predecessor, but now he has changed it back. You just need to remember that. And along with that, there was another country which changed its capital's name, which changed its capital, in fact, not the name only. That was Indonesia. So Indonesia's capital was Jakarta, but it is establishing a new capital, which is Nusantara. Nusantara. Right? So that is all that we had to cover in this particular video. I hope you liked it. I hope you liked all the information, which was quite important from examination perspective. And even if you're not preparing for any exam, in general you are curious what's happening in the India and around the world, then I think this is the most important set of news that you should have been aware of. If you like this video, please share it with your friends and also subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much and take care.